A few people have asked me about making a video of Crayola crayon melt.
So here are the materials that you will need in order to make a crayon melt artwork. So the canvas that I chose for this one is 16 by 20 inches. You will want it to be long enough this way in order to get a lot of colors in there. And you'll want it to be long enough this way to be able to see a good melt going on. If it was really short, you wouldn't have enough space for a nice melt. You'll need wax paper in order to cover the surface so that way you don't get crayon wax on your surface. You'll need a box of 96 crayons. If you have a larger canvas, you may need more. And you want to make sure that your box of crayons has nice tips on each crayon. You don't want broken tips. So look at that in the store before you buy it. You'll need a blow dryer to be able to melt the crayons and a hot glue gun to glue the crayons onto the canvas. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do first is take out light colors and put them together in a line. So I'm going to start with all of the reds and magentas, colors like that. And let's go ahead and take out the oranges as well. And I'll just continue to do that and put light colors together. Okay, so now that you have all of your colors out, and notice I've left the grays and browns in there. Browns aren't really very pretty, and this canvas is not large enough to also include the grays. So what I'm gonna do, you can see that I have more crayons than what my canvas will be able to hold. So what I'm going to do now is, see, I have a lot of this kind of fuchsia magenta color. I'm just going to remove some crayons that have very similar colors or are doubles. And I'm also going to remove the ones that say gel, because those don't melt quite the same as the rest of them. And so I want them all to melt looking the same. So I'm going to remove all the gel, all the extra ones that I don't think I really need that color, so that way I have enough crayons to fit perfectly across this size of a canvas. Okay, so now you can see that they fully cover from side to side, and this is going to be the order that I do mine in. I put purples through like orchid colors and pinks, into the magentas and the fuchsias, reds, oranges, orange yellow, yellow green, greens, and then teals and blues. So this is kind of going to be the order that I'm going to put mine in, and that way it will make a pretty rainbow. I'm going to put the tips up at the top so all the tips remain, and the part that we're going to melt are going to be the blunt ends. So I'm going to put in my hot glue gun and do that now. So I'm just going to start on one end. Just one line right down the center there, and put it right on the edge, right on the edge. Then you'll take your next one and do the same exact thing. One line. Now you can also put your glue on the canvas and then glue them on that way, but the chances, since it's hot glue, of it drying before you are able to get the crayons up there are less. So I've put it right on the edge of the canvas here and right on the edge of the canvas at the top as well. And I'm just going to continue to do that with all of them. Okay, so it looks like it might rain at any second out here, but I brought the canvas outside so I make even less of a mess, and I've set it up on the side of my porch. So that way, whenever I heat it up, the melt will go down really nicely because it's just barely at a little bit of an angle leaning up against the side of my porch. And I put the wax paper underneath it so I don't destroy anything. You're going to start on one side and work your way to the other side. If you go across it like this, that's not really going to do much help. So you want to start kind of slow and heat it up like this. You'll be able to see. And once you've heated up, you won't want to go back to the crayons that you've already melted very often. You want to kind of leave them alone once you've done it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. There we go. Back it up a little bit. I wasn't sure if you could see. So I'm kind of tilting it downwards because the last thing you want is to melt the tips. You don't want to deform the tips any more than what you have to. Once they really get going, does not take long. It just takes them a second to get started. Of course, right when they get going, I just felt a raindrop, guys. So I might have to turn off the video and start it back later. I'm gonna keep going as long as I can. Wonder if I can move this inside. Okay, I'm just gonna move inside because it's raining now. All right, hold on. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry, I had to move inside, it was raining, and you can see there the part that I did in the purple while we were outside. And you can see kind of right there, it's a little bit clumpy, so I'm just gonna heat that up again, and then I'm gonna move over to where the pinks start and do that way. All right. You want it to be a little bit clumpy on the wax, so that way you get that drip effect, but not too much. You want to still be able to see the color. See right there where we can see the colors still really well? That's nice. I know the lighting outside is much better, so I'm sorry to have to come inside. There goes one. This is a craft of patience, so you have to be a little patient. It does take a while. It might kill your arm holding the blow dryer up, but it's worth it in the end. So I'm just gonna speed up the rest of this process, but so it'll be sped up and time lapse, so you guys don't have to watch the entire thing, but you get the gist of it. So this is the first one that I did, and I don't think I applied as much heat to this one as the one that I did in the tutorial, just because of the way that they dripped, and I did not lose any tips of the Crayola crayons either. And then let me lift this up. This is the one that we just did the tutorial for. And I think I applied more heat, that's why it has a lot more melting going on right below where the crayon bases are. And I lost a few tips because the crayons melted so much they went through the paper wrapping and completely melted the entire crayon. So the tips of those crayons that are missing are somewhere inside the wrapping for that crayon. So, I mean, you can use your browns and your grays that you left out as kind of a practice. Just glue them onto a thick piece of paper or a piece of cardboard and kind of practice on the browns before you get to your rainbow canvas. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have lots of fun, because that's what it's all about anyway, is having fun. Thank you.